So I'm with Peter Harris here in this brand new facility here at Matsuura, this new showroom. This is your baby, Peter?
It is mine, yeah.
And so we're going to walk around today the whole of, or look at all the different processes happening here with your HP 3D printing. Starting behind, this is where the sort of process starts. This is the creation of the components, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you just tell us about what's probably being discussed behind us?
Well, obviously we've designed the fixture with Autodesk Fusion 360, and really this is what we're talking about with customers now. I think since Southern Manufacturing, people have realised that the plastic has got some strength to it, and the fixture we did down there, the story's just gone viral. So yes, what's starting here is a Fusion 360 process, because customers are now looking for a way to generate those designs for additive.
Is it quick?
The design process, yeah. It's obviously, and it's people's designers are spending weeks and weeks sometimes designing fixtures, whereas with a few hours with certain parameters you generate a design. But you generate a design that's got no constraints, and that's what people are getting interested in.
That's the beauty of it. And then when we move over here, we start looking at the hardware involved here. Now this is your newest HP machine. Just tell us about this one. It's a bit smaller than the other.
Yeah, as we said, this one is the 580 or 540 if you want it in mono. It's the newest printer that is launching really now.
A smaller build unit, as we see on camera.
Yeah, about half the volume, but a different market, but it's equally as strong. You know, it's probably 90% of the strength of the 4200 bigger printer. But for those people only looking to do a few builds a week, and that size limitation is okay for them, it's a great point to start.
And the print time on this for one build unit, is that less as well then because it's smaller?
Yeah, you're looking at around about 14 hours from pressing print to actually having the components in your hands. So this one you can comfortably put it printing in the afternoon, and you come in the morning and you've got the bits in your hands. So it's a very quick turnaround really for a smaller build size.
Okay, then the machine that we looked at so much last year, the HP 4200 or 4200, you've now put a few of these into the field, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got one with BCW up in Burnley now, producing a lot of fixturing components for engineering use, and that's one of our more traditional customers. We're putting one in next week at a company called Printing Portal down in Dartford. They're very much from a 3D traditional bureau business, so they're producing parts from every walk of life. So yeah, our first two is quite diverse, but that shows you quite how diverse the product line is.
Yeah, and I know you've had a lot of people in here today that are metal cutting companies looking at how maybe they can produce their fixturing using these machines, as we saw at
storing has had a lot of legs, and it's certainly sparked the interest we wanted.
Now here, what's this then, Peter? What are we going to be doing in this area?
Well, obviously with the 4200, the bigger machine, you have a separate processing station. So on this one, your build unit is pre-filled with the powder. The build unit then goes into the printer, and then it can come back in here for cooling. So it means your printer's running all the time. So if you've got one unit in here cooling for 16 hours, you can have the printer running for 16 hours. Whereas the smaller printer, everything's contained within the printer.
So, but here, what are we actually going to be doing in this as well?
The components that are coming out, so as they're coming out of the powder bed, this is the sort of the cake that's on the components. They don't come out magically clean, but obviously they come out like this. And obviously, realistically, what we're trying to do with this facility now is connect all of that post-processing that's potential to take that into something with real high value.
So it's almost, this is the first process of cleaning the part?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to now another product here that you are now supplying and you took on some time ago. This is the DyeMansion range. What would actually, if we stand this side, Peter, then the camera can sort of come around the other side and see the basket here. So tell us what this machine is about. It's the next stage.
Yeah, obviously we've got the manual blasters with DyeMansion that we know is that's where they'll start, because it's a dead easy way to clean your parts. But if you're looking to take the 4200 particularly into a high volume, high production area, you want to clean your parts quickly. You don't, potentially thousands of small parts could take easily 1-2 days to clean, and that's no underestimation. What DyeMansion have got with the first machine with the PowerShot C is they'll take practically about an 80% bucket off the 4200, and in 10 minutes they will clean the components down, and they'll clean them to an absolute powder-free situation where you're getting no, like you've seen, you've got powder from your hands on the small parts. They come out fully. That's a finished
clean part.
10 minutes and we're clean.
A bit like a rumbler. Is it just sort of, you know, as similar type of principle?
It's an automated bead blaster really, but what we've got is deionizing nozzles that basically help take away that powder. And with the tumbling process, we make sure that all of those parts get coverage, even down to the smallest key rings that we've got in here. You know, it's amazing. They come out moving and they come out clean. And it really is a labour.
You said that's 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah.
Okay, then we move on. Then we move on to this station. So straight down to the dye machine. Okay, down to the dye machine here.
4200, obviously, well, and so for the 540, we've now got an automatic dyeing machine, and we're using a slightly higher temperature at 115 degrees. But what we're getting with the black finish now off the 4200 is we're getting a consistent black, UV degradable, almost automotive spec. So what we're doing is converting those components now to something with real high value.
And is the literage that comes out of there the same as what goes in here, so there's never any bottlenecks?
No, none at all. And these cycles with 10 minutes to clean and 230 minutes typically to dye, we're well within the dyeing cycle. But no, this can easily take a full build.
Colours that you can dye?
If we're coming off the 4200 in grey, realistically we're talking black, or the very strongest of colours, the dark greys, because with DyeMansion they want that uniform consistency batch to batch, which is what automotive want. With the 540, we do have the advantage with the whiter parts that we can go any colour under the spectrum. We can go to a RAW, we can go to a Pantone, we can even match the colour to a company specific. So with the smaller white parts, we do open up more potential. But we're talking of a high-end consistent finish, and again, 230 minutes of unmanned cycle. So it's a way to translate what you're making over there into value-added parts.
Okay, then the final part here then, this would be?
Yeah, well this is the PowerShot C, and this is sort of using a PolyShot process. So as opposed to using glass, we're using a slightly larger plastic bead, and it's going in at higher pressure. And what it's doing is it's peening over the surface imperfections. So it takes something that comes out the dye station looking very matte, and what it does, by sort of peening over all those surfaces, it gives it a much tighter, glossier surface, and it's a lot more resistant to scratching. And I think this is why a lot of the automotive companies are getting interested, because we can now take those components to a high level finish.
Let's then move over here to conclude this, Peter, at this station here, because this is, well, we're presented here with some great parts that have all been made here. I'll move this side so the camera can have a look at closer detail. These are all products that you've made here in this environment in order to demonstrate to people what you can actually do with the HP technology.
Yeah, and I think people look at the diversity here and they wonder what we're printing, but in reality, it's the diversity that is what's been attracted to the printer. We are looking at modelling and architecture components. We're looking at real-world production types cases, and what we're trying to show here now is that if people want to make several hundred components, it's not a problem. You print them in a small cage. We can clean them whilst they're still in the cage, dye them in a cage, polish them in a cage.
And that cage has been printed at the same time?
Yeah, deliver them in the cage if you really want to. And so what we're trying to really demonstrate is the post-processing we've got here is absolutely key. It doesn't mean everybody needs everything. Some people will just need a manual bead blaster. But what we need to do with the 4200 particularly is show you how you get those end-use components to high volume use.